定するためにいつもの自分を曲げちまった。
No, I probably won't ever make a fully fleshed out review of season 1 or JJK 0. Sorry if anyone wanted to see that. So we're starting here. This past month of some change has been so fire. I don't think a single episode has been a miss thus far. But let me give you my reasoning of Jujutsu Kaisen season 2 part 1, of course, because it's Mappa. Just dropped my Attack on Titan, bro. So I watched Jujutsu Kaisen Hidden Inventory Arc. First things first, this opening is so fire. At first I was like, typical anime opening. But like most openings, it grew on me. Not even gonna lie, I think I might like this opening better than Kai Kai Kisan. Just saying. Also, that bass gets me all the time. Something about it just truly sets that summer vibe. Like in the future, when I think of 2023 summer, this opening is gonna pop up in my head. Whoever sang this opening, you did your thing, my boy. Anyways, before I get into these three, I'm gonna talk about the side characters in this arc. Shoko? She didn't look this good in the manga. That's all I'm gonna say. And speaking of looking good, oh my goodness, Mei-Mei. Mei-Mei, listen. You looking real good in this new art style. What's up? Let me stop. But Urehime, I don't know why they gave her such bootyful animation in that first scene. Oh my gosh. Like when it truly comes down to it, Mappa can really show off their skills. But then again, I do feel like they kind of show favoritism. Nanami, I'm so glad he cut that wig off. That Karen cut was not it. Can I speak to your manager at haircut? And I guess this transitions into my boy, RIP. Okay, this is Editing Fiend's voice. I really wish Highbara got a chance. I know he represents what happens to nice people in this world, but it's just something about him. He kind of reminds me of, well, me. And I kind of just got this big sorrow for him. Like if he was truly betrayed by the world he swore to protect, he got something taken away from him that was really precious, and that was his life. And it makes me think like dang, bro, like that could really happen to me. That could really happen to any of us. Sorry if this part's a little choppy. This is the only part without a script, so. And so I think Highbara might be the most overlooked and underrated character in the whole series. I wasn't gonna add this part originally in the video, but I just had to say that. Maid girl, she was just used as bait. That's really it. Rico, she became a Toji victim. I'll get on her in a little bit though. But anyways, let's get into the main characters of this arc. Geto, Gojo, and Toji. First, my two goats. This arc made me love Geto so much that it made me rewatch Jujutsu Kaisen 0. And honestly, that was one of the best rewatches I've had in a long time. Because in timeline order, it does make more sense. Geto gets curb stomped, he becomes depressed, and then he becomes a villain. Filthy monk. And that transition into JJK 0 was perfect. It truly felt like I got to connect with him more as a character. I'm gonna talk about this later, but I didn't really feel that connection when I read this for the first time when Geto was talking to Yuki. And on my rewatch, I was able to see Easter eggs that I wouldn't have gotten before. And so leading to his death was a lot sadder than when I initially saw it. And I thought about it, I was like, dang. I'd be hella tired if my body got taken over by some curse. Time for Geto's boyfriend, my boy, my glorious king, my Pookie Bear, Gojo. I'm gonna say this flat out. Gojo's my favorite character. Yeah, I know, real original. But this arc just made me like Gojo even more. Of course, it's still the same dandruff boy we knew from season 1. Still being disrespectful of people's privacy, flicking them up. His art style made him look better, to be honest. But low-key, it was nice to see him a little nerfed. Like, Brody couldn't even use red. But let me talk about one of my favorite parts real quick. I love how the story takes on irony. The irony that's being displayed. I feel like the beach scene kind of shows us that Gojo is a little childish, while Geto is a little more noble. Two examples of this. When Gojo tells Geto to back off and run away when he's about to fight Toji. I mean, like, of course Gojo still thinks like this to this day, but to him, it doesn't matter who you are, cause I'm Satoru Gojo. And another example with Gojo literally wanting to kill everyone in the Star Religious group, but Geto was the one to reassure him and tell him to chill out. And us, the viewers, are sitting here watching this knowing damn well what kind of shenanigans Geto's gonna get himself into later. I love this, and I just think this is pretty cool. And after this man Toji whooped him, knowing Gojo, he definitely held a grudge. I mean, like, look at the way he grilled this man Megumi. He really hit him with that, damn, you look just like your daddy. Honestly, if this was the very beginning of the story, well, technically it is timeline-wise, I really would have thought Gojo would have became the villain by the end of this episode. This episode had post-credits. And what's crazy too, I just sensed that there was going to be something after this episode ended. I just think that's cool. You don't see that in anime too often. But now, it's time to talk about the man, the myth, the legend himself. The one who basically started the whole story. Toji Fushiguro. That man Toji was a dog. He was on dog timing. He had that dog talk. He had that dog in him. And I respect this man because he's a man of his work. He rolled up to the job not caring who or what he was fighting, and casually mollywalked two of the strongest Jujutsu sorcerers around. And although I like Geto and Gojo more than Toji, I'm glad they got dropped. Like, think about it. Both Geto and Gojo, these two have been receiving glaze their whole life. Oh my gosh, you guys are so strong. And Gojo, you're so hot, blah, blah, blah. But then they got dropped so bad that one of them was like, I gotta kill these monkeys. Like, I gotta kill everybody that can't use jujitsu. I'm telling you, the kick, that disrespect is what engraved that mentality in that man's head. And the other one, well, he's still mad egotistic. And that's what makes him the GOAT. But look at this. I should probably say manga spoiler warning. So, you've been warned. I'm not fully caught up. I'm still on Tokyo Sendai Colony, but he's literally wearing the outfit of the man he got whooped by. Now, this is for all you power skilling nerds out there. I love my boy Satoru Gojo, and Gojo has good hacks, but Toji hacks. Someone explain to me, what the flip were these aimbot shots? Get out of here with these YOLO shots. No way he hit those. Now, this woman, I'm not even gonna lie, Yuki's another one. She gaslighted Geto so hard. Literally, she added to the fire that Toji started. She's technically the reason why Geto even became a villain. She's bringing up all this info that you know wouldn't really be in a combo you have with somebody you don't really know like that. She's talking about some, let me give you a lesson, then tells him about non-sorcerers turning into cursed spirits. So Geto's like, why don't we kill all non-sorcerers? And Yuki's like, yeah, you right. Like, Yuki, you don't find that suspicious? Like, Yuki ain't even have to say all that. Yuki's D1 gaslighter, I guess. Now our storyline. A whole arc dedicated to Gojo and Geto. I love how in the anime they perfectly portrayed Geto's change. This one objective of protecting one girl gives a shocking, peaceful, but dramatic plot twist. Even for somebody like me that already knew Amanai was gonna die, I was still left with a lot of shock. I love how this episode sets up a peaceful tone that hits you with that, oh, she dead. As little of a role she played, Amanai is one of the most important characters. I mean, like, this is basically where the story all started. You can tell this by not only looking at how young our characters look, but they're just running around with flip phones. And that was perfect for the setting, because it did give off that 2000s vibe. But her death definitely changed our main two characters. Toji's another one. As I just said, he curb stomped everybody, which brings me into another plot twist I love. Gojo getting stabbed. We've known Gojo for a whole season already, and we already know how busted and OP he is. So to see someone like him get belittled with a surprise blade through the chest, it makes you sit up in your seat. As most of you can assume already, my first reaction of this part of the series was not in the anime. So let's take it back to the manga. After finishing season 1 and going into reading the manga, I was most definitely not interested in a flashback arc. Not gonna lie, I was kind of bored reading until they got to the fighting. Not to say I didn't like the flashback, but most of my reaction to stuff was like, oh snap, especially to Girly getting blicked up, and when Gojo used purple for the first time. But let me tell you, I'm so glad I did read that part, because what came after that was totally worth it. And low-key, I'ma have to make a video on Shibuya. Now, what do I think about this short 6-episode arc? I love this. It works so well already knowing who these characters are. If this was actually the beginning of the story, I don't think this would have worked the way it did. We also wouldn't have this bootyful art style. As I just said, really my only problem with this arc is that it didn't feel the way it did in the manga than the anime. But I don't know. Maybe I was just high off that season 1 action. And although I loved to see my boys Gojo, Geto, and now Toji, I cannot wait to see our main cast once again. I give Jujutsu Kaisen Hidden Inventory Arc a good 8 out of 10.
Robert, it goes down.
No, it don't.
Get it, yeah. What the fuck he doing? Yeah. Boop, boop, beat his ass, yeah. Whip his hair, yeah.
One time.
Battle ring, yeah. Who the fuck?
Harlem Shake, get it.
Yeah.